In today's video, we're going to be talking about 1v1 defending and how to never get beat in a 1v1 situation anymore. So 1v1 defending is one of the core abilities that you must have as a player if you want to succeed. It doesn't matter if you're playing as a striker or if you're playing center mid or if you're playing any position, 1 versus 1 defending is crucially important to have as a player. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining the proper details of 1v1 defending. All you need for today's video is going to be a soccer ball and a partner to help you out. So let's get into it. So now let's talk about the proper details of 1 versus 1 defending and how we can defend in a 1v1 situation. But before we move on to the steps, I want to first talk about the mentality that you must have as a player when you're defending in a 1v1 situation. So the mentality that you must have as a player is that, as a defender actually I should say, is that it should hurt you to get beat in a 1v1. So if somebody beats you in a 1v1, it must be hurting you. So you cannot be letting players beating you and just watching them get past you. So if you don't have this mentality, you're going to get beat every time in 1v1 situations. But as a defender, it must be hurting you to get beat in a 1v1 situation. In your mind, you must have the fact that you must never accept getting beat by a player. It must be in your mind that I'm going to win every single 1v1 battle and I'm going to win his ball. So this is the mentality that you want to have. So I just want to explain this because it's crucially important to have as a defender in a 1v1 situation. Now that we understand what mentality we have to have, let's talk about the proper way of 1v1 defending. So the first step of 1v1 defending is to block the attacker's path. This is very, very important, and a lot of players don't do this properly, especially at the beginner level. So let's talk about it. When the attacker is attacking you, the first step for you is to block and get in their way. So let's say if we have an attacker here, they have the ball. The first step for me to defend them in a 1v1 situation is to be in their way here. So if I'm not in their way, it is very difficult for me to win the ball from them. And I'm no danger to them because as long as I'm not in the way, they can shoot, they can pass, they can go towards my goal. So you have to get in between your net and that player. So you have to block them from your net. And even if they get past you, the first thing in your mind should be that I must get back in his way first and then do whatever I want to do. So that is the first step, is to block. The second step is your approach to the player. So you don't want to be giving them space. Again, a lot of players make the mistake of giving the attacker a lot of space and they don't close down this space. And so they give them too much time on the ball and they become very dangerous, especially in the game situations. So once you block their way, you want to approach them. You want to approach and take away their space. Now, what speed do you want to be approaching them? Fast or slow? And the answer is you want to be approaching quickly, and as you get close to them, you want to slow down. So I'm going to show you a demonstration here. If the attacker is coming, I first want to block, I want to approach fast, and then I want to slow down as I'm getting close to the attacker. And the reason for that is that if you approach the player with a very, very high speed and you don't slow down, then what's going to happen is that all of your momentum is going that way. So all they have to do is to knock the ball past you. And it is very difficult for you to get back to them. So you don't want to be approaching fast, fast, fast. You want to be approaching fast. And then as you get close to them, you want to slow down as you're getting close. So that's the second step, is your approach. The third step is for you to force them to either side. This is a very, very crucial step, so I really need you to pay attention carefully. Once you block and once you're approaching the player, as you're approaching that player, you must be in your mind choosing which side you want to be forcing them. So you must, as a defender, force the attacker to one side. This is crucially important and very, very vital when you're defending in a 1v1 situation. So if you're not forcing them to one side, then you're not in control of the 1v1 battle. And if you're not in control of the 1v1 battle, you will lose the battle. So what you want to do as a defender is that you always want to be in control of the 1v1 battle. And the way you can be in control of the 1v1 battle is to choose based on the situation in the game, based on everything that is going on, based on the dangers that are for your team at that moment. You want to choose which side you want to force them. And as you're approaching, you want to make sure that you're sideways, so you don't want to be flat-footed here. You always want to be sideways, as if you're riding a surfboard, I always say. A very good example is that you're always riding a surfboard, you're sideways. So you want to always be sideways, not flat-footed, sideways, and then you want to approach them, and as you're approaching them, you want to choose which side you want to force them. So watch this part carefully. So I will block, and then as I'm approaching, I'm going to force the attacker to the side that I want them to go. And if you're able to do this part correctly, then you're in control of that 1v1 battle. So you never want to be approaching the player straight on. If you approach them straight on, then they can either go this side or this side. Then you have to keep guessing which side they're going to go. But if you choose which side you want to force them, first of all, you're in control. Second of all, you don't have to guess because it is very difficult for them to go to this side. So this is a very important step. So this step, the third step, was the approach. The fourth step of 1v1 defending is called the fake attack. So I'll explain to you what a fake attack is. As a defender, the worst thing that you want to do in a 1v1 situation is to lunge into the challenge. So if you lunge into the challenge, then you're finished. Then the attacker can easily knock the ball past you because all of your momentum and your balance is out of control now. So the nightmare of every single attacker is for a defender that never jumps in. So the nightmare of an attacker is defenders that never jump in and time their challenge. So let's recap everything quickly, and then I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So first we have to block their path. The second step was to approach fast and slow. The third step was to force them to one side. And the fourth step is to fake attack. So as you're approaching the player, you want to fake attack. When you do that fake attack, it really makes that attacker to make a decision or make a mistake. And once they make a mistake, you can easily win the ball from them. But if you just jump into the challenge, then, especially if it's a technical player or a fast player, they're easily going to get past you. So that is what they're going to do. So you never want to jump in. Block, approach, fast, slow, force them to one side, and then fake attack. And once they make a mistake, you're able to win the ball. Now let's talk about the fifth step of 1v1 defending once we understand the fourth step. The fifth step for you is to get physical as a defender. As a defender, it is very, very important to get physical with your battles. So if you're not getting physical, if you're not getting your arm up, if you're letting that attacker get past you, then that is not good defending. Especially if you're a big defender, the best thing that you want to do is to get your arm up. So the way you want to win the ball from the player is not by jumping into the challenge, is to do your fake attack, and once they make a decision, get in between the player and the ball and start shielding. So that is how you want to win the ball as a defender. You never want to put your foot in to the challenge. So what you want to do is to always use your body and get in between the player and the ball to win the ball from them. So that is the fifth step of 1v1 defending. So now that we went over all the steps of 1 versus 1 defending, let's talk about the common mistakes that a lot of defenders make while they're defending in a 1v1 situation. Number one common mistake that they make is that their surfboard is not in a proper position. So let me explain to you. We spoke about being sideways and standing on a surfboard as you're defending the attacker. And because you always want to be forcing them to one side, and you never want to be flat-footed as a defender because they can easily go through your legs, or they can go around you and you have to turn all the way to get back to them. So instead, what do you want to do to get on your surfboard? Now, a lot of players make the mistake of being on their surfboard this way and being on their surfboard in a sideways position just like I am at the moment. So the problem with this type of surfboard is that if that attacker attacks your backside, then you also have to turn all the way to get back to them, and it is very difficult to stop them. Instead, what you want to do is that if the attacker is right there, you want to give a little bit of angle to your surfboard, just like this, so that if by any chance they attack your backside, you can easily turn the other way. So you never want to be completely sideways with your surfboard. You want to give it a little bit angle, but at the same time, you want to block one way and force them to that side. So that is one of the common mistakes that a lot of defenders make. Another common mistake that a lot of defenders make is that if they're defending a fast player, they approach them very quickly. So if you're defending a fast attacker, the best thing and the best solution that you have to do is to give them space. So you never want to, if you're defending a fast player, you never want to close them down quickly, because then they're going to knock the ball past you and they're going to get past you easily. Instead, what you want to do is to give them space. So block the way and force them to one side and approach them slowly, but give them space and let them come towards you. And as they're dribbling towards you, they're going to make a decision, and your other teammates are going to help you as well in the game. And you can also use your body if they try to knock the ball past you, because there's a lot of space between you guys. And if they make a decision, then you have a lot of time to win the ball from them. But if you close them down quickly, they're easily going to get past you. This was another crucially important point when you're defending fast players. The last and the final common mistake that a lot of defenders make when they're defending 1v1 is that they make the first move in the 1v1 battle. Now, we spoke about fake attack in the previous steps, but I want to break it down a little bit more just to make you have a better understanding of it. So I want you to understand that in a 1v1 battle, whoever makes the first move is the one who loses. So if you as a defender make the first move, then you lost the 1v1 battle. Instead, with your fake attack, you want to force that attacker to make the first mistake and make the first decision, actually, I should say. So once they make the first move, then you can predict what they're going to do and you can easily win the ball from them. So what I want you to do as a defender is to block and to approach fast and slow and to force and then fake attack, and don't make the first move. Even if your fake attack doesn't work, never make the first move. Let them make a decision and then decide if you want to get physical with them or not. So that was another common mistake that a lot of defenders make, especially when they're more at the beginner level. So there you go, guys. That's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about the 1v1 defending that we spoke about today. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to enjoy the rest of your day.